location of the meeting. Dr. Holman, the board's president, has checked in at the SRWA's receptionist desk and is in an abundance of caution opted to isolate himself in the SRWA conference room. He will participate using the video conference link. Please note that members of the public are free to join Dr. Holman in the conference room. Dr. Holman, a quorum of the board is present. You are free to convene the meeting of the SRWA Board of Directors.
Thank you very much. Before anybody rushes, should have warned you guys, I hit sit. I'll do it when I catch this. And for all the SRWA staff members there, your executive team, such slave drivers that even a board member can't sit. And this will actually be one of 3 meetings they'll have me doing today. So yeah, okay. So item number 1, the consideration and possible. Oh wait, sorry. First, we're going to call the meeting to order. Second, do we have any public comments?
No.
So we'll move on then to our action items, and consideration of possible action on approval of the July 7th, 2025 board meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
Second, Mr. President.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. On to item number 2, general manager.
At this time, we're going to read the operational, chemical optimization, and financial reports, followed by Mr. Jacob Galvan and Mr. Jorge Santillan.
Good afternoon, my name is Jacob Galvan. I'll be presenting the production distribution report for the month ended June 30th, 2025. On tab 2 of your board binder, you'll see the SRWA water distribution summary and true-up estimate. On column C, we have the SRWA total distribution. The year-to-date is 1,855.456 million gallons for a daily average of 6.797 million gallons. On column F, we have the distribution for BPUV. The year-to-date is 1,701.871 million gallons for a daily average of 6.234 million gallons. On column G, we have the distribution for Valley Mud number 2. The year-to-date is 45.936 million gallons for a daily average of 0.168 million gallons. On column H, we have the distribution for Los Fresnos. The year-to-date is 64.975 million gallons for a daily average of 0.238 million gallons. On column I, we have the credit for B&D. The year-to-date is 38.963 million gallons for a daily average of 0.143 million gallons. On column J, we have the year-to-date for Indian Lake, on column J, we have the allocation for Indian Lake. The year-to-date is 3.711 million gallons, for a daily average of 0.014 million gallons. Below, we have the true-up estimate, where P2B is under by 22.03 million gallons. Valley Mud number 2 is under by 0.64 million gallons. And City of Los Fresnos is over by 22.67 million gallons. On the next page, we have the production and distribution report for the month of June. On the column, the third column from the left, we have the total water, the SRWA total water produced. The year-to-date was 204.842 million gallons, for a daily average of 6.82 million gallons. On the far column on the right, we have the total water distributed. The year-to-date was 203.686 million gallons, for a daily average of 6.79 million gallons. Below, we have the chemical consumption for the month. The chemical consumption's costs were $66,567.52. And below that, we have the electrical consumption cost. And the cost was $95,788.40. On the next page, we have events that reduce water production for the month, and there were no shutdowns for the month. On the next page, we have the iron, manganese, and arsenic removal. For the point of entry, all the samples were under the MCLs. You can see iron was undetectable, manganese was at 0.0127 milligrams per liter, and the arsenic was undetectable. Total dissolved solids was at 730, and there were no adjustments made. We were at 10% blend, and the chemicals were at the same dosage as the previous month. On this page, we have the ROs and the well pumps that were on when samples were collected on June 13th. On this page, we have the manganese graph, and where the blend was at 10%, you can see, and the manganese at 0.0127 milligrams per liter. On this graph, on the next page, we have another graph showing, illustrating the arsenic levels. The chlorine dioxide was at 0.3, the ferric is at 1.3, and actual milligrams per liter was 0.00902. So it was basically undetected. On the next page, we have a graph comparing the water production and distribution for fiscal year 25 and 24. On the next graph, we have water plant production for Brownsville's 3 water plants, where you can see SRWA contributed with 30.76% of Brownsville's water demand. And that concludes my presentation. I don't know if there are any questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Jorge Santillan, Finance Manager, and I will go over the 2025, the authority's financial performance report as of June 30, 2025. I'm beginning with operating revenues and expenses. Looking at operating revenues from member assessments, looking at the last column, that's totals 5,850,118. Then we back out line number 10, total operating expenses of 3,936,185. That results in an operating income of 1,914,333. Continuing on the following page with the non-operating revenues and expenses. We add the line number 18, net non-operating revenues of 122,039. This results in the income before capital contributions of 2,036,372. There were no capital contributions. The change in net position shown in line number 21, that's 2,036,372. We add this amount to the net position at the beginning of the year of 24,534,856. This results in a net position at the end of June of 26,571,228. The following two pages, this includes the budget and actual summary of expenses by account and account type. And this is the end of the presentation. Any questions? Thank you.
This is Paul Gonzalez, just noting that Ms. Fernandez, I believe, has also joined the meeting. Ms. Fernandez, would you please confirm?
I don't show her name on, but we have sent a link.
I'm sorry for the interruption, Mr. President, but it does not appear that she's yet on board.
Yeah, she says she can hear.
Thank you. She's confirmed her attendance. The video cameras for any video participants should be on for the open part of the meeting.
Paul, you were just asked to repeat what you just said.
Can you hear me?
Now we can, yeah. Just make sure you
Great.
project.
The video cameras for remote participants should remain on during participation of the meeting.
Yes, your camera's on.
She's questioning if her camera on. So I guess she can tell she needs to.
This is enough for camera itself.
We're confirming right now that we have the projection of the shared screen on, and the technical folks are confirming that the video is on. Please stand by.
Okay.
Am I on? Sorry, this is my
Not the
first-
camera.
The camera's not appearing, Ms. Fernandez.
I'm not sure where to.
It does not ruin the quorum, but then we just cannot count you as part of the quorum unless the video's on.
Okay, great.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
Hello, I'm here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's yours on.
The quarterly investment report.
On the S drive. Technical difficulties. You missed it.
Break.
Anybody see any good movies recently?
I like the Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah? I was thinking I might break my movie theater drought and go see the new Naked Gun.
I didn't see any movies, but I would like to share something. We just got back from nationals, and one of my boys got third place out of 17 kids.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Our apologies for the technical difficulties.
Pardon my question. What was nationals? What was the competition?
Taekwondo.
Oh, wow. Okay. Congratulations indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could give tech staff like a countdown. If they can't figure it out within 5 minutes, I come out and talk. See that? It's really competitive. Do we need the projector for the negatives to move forward discussion?
Do we need a projection? I guess, is there an item we can move on that without the other ones, maybe we can come back? So, Mr. President, if you want, we can go to some of the administrative items, and then that while they get resolve the issue.
Right, particularly items that have materials already provided in the packets. Can we proceed?
But don't we have a quorum to proceed?
Yes, we do.
What are we waiting for?
We have a quorum, he's here, he's in the other room.
Well, then we should be going then.
That's why he's gonna be up
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's here, he can hear, and he has his packet, he can just flip pages.
Go ahead, Mary.
We're still trying to see who's Camilla Road. That's what we're trying to do right now.
Dr. Holman, while they're working on there, would you mind if we move to item number 5, and we can move to the groundskeeping? That one doesn't have a presentation. Mr. Eddie Campirano is here and ready, and he can go ahead and start so we can keep them moving along and they can still work on that. Eddie, can you proceed? And then that way you can hear them and they can still work on the podium.
No, I thought I saw you sneak into the corner.
He would need to call the item.
Oh, should I read it out loud?
Yes.
Okay. This is item number 6, the
Number-
consideration of possible action to
All right.
approve
5.
three renewals of annual groundskeeping maintenance services.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, Dr. Holman, members of the board. My name is Eddie Campirano, and I'm the Senior Customer Service Manager with Brownsville PUB. And as Dr. Holman mentioned, for consideration and possible action is to approve year 3 renewal of annual groundskeeping maintenance services for SRWA. The original contract approved in 2023 by SRWA for valley-wide tree trimming had an initial term of 2 years. The contract gave the SRWA the option to renew the contract for 3 additional 1-year periods. This contract extension is for year 3 or the first year of the contract extension option. On June 2nd, 2025, the BPUB board approved the contract extension for BPUB's portion of the groundskeeping services. The contract extension covers groundskeeping and maintenance for all SRWA well sites, generator areas, and office areas for a total of $126,600 for 1 year. In an effort to provide a more efficient operation and to keep up with maintenance of the various SRWA properties, staff recommends awarding the contract extension to Valley-Wide Tree Trimming. So I'm available for any questions.
Does anyone have questions?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll ask, how have they been performing so far?
No complaints, satisfactory, and for SRWA sites as well as BPUB sites. So we're pleased with their services.
And it's the same price.
Exactly right. They're agreeing to honor the same price.
Can I make a motion, Mr. President?
Sorry, I missed that.
Can I make a motion, Mr. President?
Yes, please, I will entertain a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Dr. Holman, we can proceed with number 6 if you're disposed.
Sounds great. Let's move on to consideration and approval of a resolution for appointment of records management officer for the Southwest Regional Water Authority. All listed.
Well, good afternoon again. Texas law requires local governments to designate a records management officer to oversee the preservation and retention and lawful disposition of records. Ms. Nancy Arriaga, BPUB's Records Information and Policies Manager, served as BPUB's RMO and was previously designated as SRWA's RMO, but she retired on July 31st, 2025. A resolution is presented and is part of the packet to designate the person holding that position with BPUB as SRWA's RMO, whether on a permanent or temporary basis, so that state records can timely be updated. The Records Information and Policies Manager is part of the Legal Services Division at BPUB and reports to the General Counsel and Chief Legal Officer, who will name a person to temporarily handle this function until the position is filled on a permanent basis. In other words, right now the buck stops here. I am the person. So the recommendation to you is that the board adopt the resolution as drafted, designating BPUB's Records Information and Policies Manager as SRWA's Records Management Officer.
So moved.
Second, Mr. President.
Sounds great. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
So Dr. Holman, we'll try and go back and see if the presentation has arrived for the other meetings. If not, we'll just go with a verbal presentation, so to keep the meeting, it has not arrived. Are we able to go with the presentation?
Yes, just reference the page.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Miriam Camacho. I'm the Treasury and Accounting Manager for Brownsville PUB. I'll be going over the investment report for quarter ended June 30th, 2025. Referencing page number 1, I'll be going over letters A, C, E, and F. The quarterly investment report was prepared for SRWA according to Chapter 2256 of the Public Funds Investment Act. The investment portfolio complied with the PFIA and SRWA's approved investment policy and strategy throughout the quarter. So the portfolio consists of 4 different asset classes, which is letter A of page 1, starting with bank deposits with a market value of $467,961.68, had a percentage of the portfolio of 3.21 with a yield to maturity of 4.11. Going next with these CDs of certificates of deposit CDs with a market value of $3,358,000 with a percentage of portfolio of 23.7 and a yield to maturity of 4.59. Continuing with investment pools with a market value of $8,213,802 with 74 cents, had a percentage of our portfolio of 56.42% and a yield to maturity of 4.34. And lastly, the money market investment funds with a market value of $2,519,391 with 30 cents, a percentage of the portfolio of 17.30 with a yield to maturity of 4.23. I'm going to continue with page 2 of your packet, and this is the detailed distribution by asset class. Starting with column A, bank deposits with a total market value of $467,961 with 68 cents, and the yield to maturity ranging from 1.65 to 4.2. 4.12, sorry. Next, certificates of deposit, starting with number 4 through line 18, with the market value of $3,358,000 and a yield to maturity ranging from 4.30 to 5.60. Investment pools, line number 24, with a total market value of $8,213,802.74, with a yield to maturity ranging from 4.26 through 4.51. And money market mutual funds, line number 25, with the market value of $2,519,391.30, with the yield to maturity of 4.23. Total portfolio money market at market value at the end of this quarter was $14,559,155.72, with the yield to maturity of 4.37. Anyone has any questions? This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
At this
Okay,
time,
so I think now we're going to do the discussion of magnitude.
yes, that is correct, Dr. Holman, that's item 2C.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. My name is Jose Armando Garza, and I'll be presenting this PowerPoint just to discuss the manganese removal options that we have. As you know, we've been having some issues with discolored water out in our distribution system. So here we just want to present some options that we have and that we are planning on taking. The source of the manganese that we're seeing actually, well, we know that it's naturally occurring in our well field. As you can see, the well water coming in has a high elevated levels of manganese at 0.09 milligrams per liter. The blend, basically, we're not removing much with our microfiltration at this point. But our RO permeate, the ROs are actually doing their job. I mean, they're removing most of the manganese from the well water. So the finished product is a combination of the blend water and the permeate water, which ends up at 0.0127 milligrams per liter, which is way below the maximum contaminant level. But it seems like even at those low points, we're still having issues out in the distribution system with yellow water, black water. Like I said, very low, but we're still having issues. So what we want to propose, we want to propose a short-term solution, and this will entail cutting the blend to zero. And what that's going to happen, we're going to have to add more chemicals to our water, especially in the calcium chloride and the caustic soda. And I have a table right here illustrating the amount, an estimated amount of cost. You go from 10% blend to 0% blend. The calcium, we would go from 35 milligrams per liter of chemical up to 55 milligrams per liter. And the caustic soda from 4.5 to 5.5. And the dollar amounts, as you can see, our current cost for these two chemicals is $40,663 at 10%. If we go to 0%, that cost is gonna increase by up to 62,722 per month. On a yearly basis, it's 487,956 in 10% blend, and 752,664 at 0% blend. That's a difference of $264,000 per year. Any questions up to now?
I'm kind of worried about going to no blend, only because don't we have to worry about leaching at that point?
Yes, that's why we're increasing the chemicals in order to reintroduce or to stabilize the water. Yeah, the goal we're always going to be able. The goal is to stabilize the water, not have it corrosive, so there's no leaching potential from the water. And that's
The other problem is not only are we increasing chemical costs because we're adding more, we're also reducing the output of SRWA.
That is correct.
So our costs per gallon will shoot up.
That is correct. We will be reducing approximately 800 to 1 million gallons per day.
So this is a really important point, and we probably need to reach out to more people within the industry, see if there are any other options. And if they're not, I think we should also inform our ratepayers that this is what we're doing. You know, maybe there are other options, maybe they're not, maybe the ratepayers don't want to bear this added cost, but I think it's worth looking and discussing.
Correct. And actually, the options we have, long-term solution. As of now, back in 2017, we made a decision how to treat for manganese. And at that time, the team chose chlorine dioxide with our microfiltration, right? But the key considerations for this method, it was a potential impact on membranes, which we saw in our RO membranes, not the microfiltration RO membranes, but not the microfiltration membranes, but the RO membranes. Let me jump to the other one. This is why we decrease the amount of chlorine dioxide to a point that it no longer removes a manganese. We were seeing this in our membranes, especially for the second stage. Our system here is a two-stage system, first stage and then second stage. We were seeing an increase in conductivity, which is the same as almost solid passage, because at the high level of chlorine dioxide. If you see this trend, if we, at this point, right here, when it's more or less stabilized, we decrease the chlorine dioxide, we stabilize the damage of the membrane, but at the same time, we stop removing manganese with our microfiltration system. If we would have continued going at a higher dose, we would have damaged, the membranes probably within a year. So going back, at that time, they also looked at other options. The other option would be that sodium permanganate, which is also an oxidant that can actually oxidize the manganese, so we can remove it at a microfiltration. The sodium permanganate is also more, the ROs are more tolerant to this chemical. It does not oxidize them as easy as the chlorine does. The other option would be a filtration system for the blend water, which it would be cost for the initial capital investment and O&M also. So we have two options: the filtration system with green sand and manganese oxide, but their investment, the initial investments are high.
I was just knowing for the board members that these costs are from 2017, so you probably double them.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, can you say that again, Mark?
Yeah, these costs that we're showing here in this table, they're from a study done back in 2017. So it's probably double by now.
never got that 2017 report. I know we were talking about
I can send it to you, sir.
it. That'd be right.
So this is the options that were presented this time. We really want to address the issue of discoloration water. I know we're getting a lot of complaints, and we would like to put a stop to that. And I think that by cutting the blend and reducing the levels to 0.0, 0.5, which is the permeate, and then flushing the system for what's already accumulated in the lines. Once we flush that and we stop adding high levels of manganese into the system, we would be able to stop those complaints.
Replace membranes.
We're also looking into replacing 3 trains of membranes which are like 10 years old, so that would even make our permeate water even cleaner than that. But again, it comes with a cost. Any comments?
I think this is worth discussing. Probably not today, because I can't do it very effectively like this. But yeah, maybe in a few, maybe after Friday, when it's safe to see around people.
Sure, we can do that. Any other comments?
I do have a question.
Okay.
Does it have to be, I'm sorry, yes, same here, it's not the same when you're actually present. Does it have to be both the replacement of the membrane and the chemicals as well? So it will be the 277 and 264 that it has to be applied at the same time?
We would like to obtain the membranes as soon as possible, yes. But keep in mind that those membranes will last on maybe anywhere from 8 to 10 years. So this is going to be like a one-time investment for the next 8 to 10 years.
Okay. Do you think that with the replacement, I know that that's something that has to be done, the replacement of the membranes.
Right.
Would that help a little bit, or the chemical has to be applied at the same time?
We will need to reduce the blend. Most of the manganese is going through the blend stream. And like I say, our levels are very low in the finished water, way below what's allowed, but it's still giving us issues.
Do you know why did this start?
Why? Because we stopped removing manganese with our microfiltration system, which uses chlorine dioxide. That chlorine dioxide the residue was coming over to our membranes, and it was damaging the membranes. So in order for us to save the membranes, we decreased the chlorine dioxide, we saved the membranes, but we stopped removing the manganese from the microfiltration, or with the microfiltration.
Is there another process that can be implemented in order to not damage the membrane so quick and avoid getting that same level of manganese?
Yes, can you see this table?
Yes.
Okay, what we're using is the first, right here, the chlorine dioxide. We're proposing on the short, long term, maybe to change from chlorine dioxide to sodium permanganate. Which overall, once implemented, it has a lower O&M cost than what we're using right now. The only downside is that there's also a chance of water discoloration or turning the water pink, because if you overdose this chemical, you're gonna see it in the system like pink water. But
I think understanding that would be pretty important. I also just realized that we're running pretty late. Would everybody mind if I said, let's get the next two action items as quick as possible?
This was a staff presentation, so.
Right.
So it's,
Right.
right.
So, but moving on from that to hit the next two action items. Thank
This
you.
this was not a action item,
No,
right?
this is just.
Okay, okay.
All right, we can jump into item number 2.
Okay, so moving on.
Correct.
Okay, consideration and possible action on the fiscal year 2026 operations and maintenance and capital budget.
Should I read the item?
Oh, you read it.
Read it? Okay. Mr. President, good afternoon. This is Jorge Santillan, Finance Manager. This is an action item to adopt the fiscal year 26 O&M and capital budgets. This is the same information that was presented at the last meeting in July. And just in summary, just to go over the summary, fiscal year 26 proposed O&M budget is $5,495,984. Is $428,442 or 7.23% less than the approved FY25 budget. The FY26 debt service requirement totals $2,282,565, which is an increase of $6,300 from prior year. The FY26 proposed capital budgets totals $2,644,430, which will be funded with $362,815 in participant assessments and prior year cash. With the offset of $350,000 of interest earnings on investments for fiscal year 26, the O&M, debt service, and proposed capital budget bring the total proposed Southwest Regional Water Authority's fiscal year 26 budget to $7,791,361. And overall, the FY26 budget is $9,327 less than the FY25 budget. This is an action item. Any questions or comments before I read the recommended motion?
I think you're fine to read the
Let me read the recommended motion. Staff recommends approval of the fiscal year 26 operations and maintenance and capital budgets.
I so move.
Second, Mr. President.
Sorry, I missed that. What was that?
You received a motion and a second from board members.
Oh, perfect, okay. Well, great, all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the last section. Item number 4, consideration and possible action to ratify the rental of a portable diesel generator for hurricane preparedness and for year-round backup power for the SRWA microfiltration systems.
Mr. President, members of the board, Jose Armando Garza, Water Treatment Manager. The Brownsville Public Utility Board and SRWA have taken a proactive approach to ensure uninterrupted water treatment operations and regulatory compliance during extreme weather events, particularly during hurricane season. For SRWA, this includes securing a dedicated diesel generator for year-round standby at the microfiltration water treatment system. Invitation to bid was duly advertised in the Brownsville Herald on March 15 and 22nd, 2025, and posted on the BPUB webpage. Invitation to bid was emailed to 8 vendors, with 4 vendors responding. The BPUB Purchasing Department opened bids for the rental of portable diesel generators on April 4th, 2025. BPUB Board of Directors approved the contract on May 12, 2025, and the BPUB General Manager and CEO executed the contract on July 1st, 2025. The interlocal agreement between SRWA and BPUB authorizes BPUB to obtain services on behalf of SRWA. The rental agreement for the 1,000 kilowatt generator for SRWA's purpose will be from June 1st, 2025 through May 31st, 2026. Are there any questions?
Is there any way that the generator can be utilized in some other areas?
It
Is it just all going to be focused directly on that? It's going to sit most of the time, but can we utilize it in other areas is what I want to know.
It could, since it's a portable generator, it's on wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so,
it depends on what the megawatt generator, what your kilowatt is set up to.
correct.
So what is that?
It's a 1,000 kilowatt generator.
1,000?
Yeah.
Well, is it in our better interest to rent this thing, or should it be an outright purchase because we'd have it as, you know? What's gonna be the difference in the cost, rental versus owning the particular piece of equipment?
I know there's a study about purchasing generators. Don't remember the exact number, do you remember?
Like
It's millions.
5 million or something.
Yeah,
Like 5 million, I think was what the
That
study.
would be the purchase.
Purchase.
yeah.
And from experience at our port, we've bought the generators, and to us, it's a waste of money because
High
it's just use, high maintenance, and you keep it there, and you buy it not wanting to use it, but you gotta have it. So it's dead money there. I understand your point, but I think it's cheaper sometimes just to lease it out.
We can see on the next page all the rentals that we have. We've got quite a few. We have one on site for the plant that's 20 years old that still works.
How many hours in it?
Well, I don't know. How many hours do you have on that?
Of operation, less than 10.
The one on site just runs the times for operating for test times. That's the only thing that it has. I don't think we've ran this facility that I'm aware of, for generation. We are looking into other options as far as, for funding that's available. As you all are aware, a lot of the grant funding has been cut down and reduced. We did submit for applications, but they haven't received them. I don't think we have anybody from our grants team here, but we can come back and provide a summary to the board, to this board about what we have submitted and what the outcome of that. And I don't know if Jorge, if you know the outcome of where we're at on that. I know that I recently inquired and I saw it on the list of applications, but I'm not sure what the status is.
Yeah, I don't have any update this time, but I'll be glad to come back with some more information.
Right. And so it is a costly capital investment as well as maintenance and ensure that they're running. And if the operational issue is, and as Mr. Lopez mentioned, sometimes at times it's the operational maintenance of that particular unit to ensure that now we put it on the vendor for the vendor to be able to ensure that that is operating and operational. And as they need to switch out, they switch them out. In past experience, we've had generators just sitting out there in the fleet, and then all of a sudden when we try and use them, they're not working and they become obsolete equipment. It's whereas as a change in regulations and environments happens, it becomes a different type of operational, I don't want to say nightmare, but headache more than anything. And it's not because we're taking the easy way out, but there is a study, as Ms. Adams mentioned, that did do that cost-benefit analysis of the various different renting versus owning.
So the vendor will come out and maintain this generator?
Yes, that is correct, Dr. Holman. They come and.
Yes.
How often do they come out?
Probably quarterly.
Quarterly?
Quarterly.
Quarterly, they come quarterly.
I mean, yeah, it's 1 gigawatt territory, so it's worth asking a question. Should we just have generator on site that maybe we could use for other applications and deliver them to the grid even? But, okay.
This is an action item.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the generators, the optimum for keeping it reliable, it's required you run them under a load at least once a month for 15, 20 minutes, a half hour. If you don't do that, yeah, you're just throwing money down the drain, because when you need it, it isn't going to run. You've got to keep everything in. You don't use it, you lose it.
Correct.
So I don't know how this rental operation works. If you're going to need it, you need it now, not in 8, 10, 12 hours away. They can't find one, they can't get one. So that's another consideration in my estimation.
Right.
We'll have to ask them about the load test. I know we do load tests on our own
Right.
generators.
Yeah, our own internal electric department, they come and do the load testing.
Don't know about the rental.
Have you got any records as to failure in our well pumps, on the motors, on those, on the generators and so forth? Do you have any failures, or have they been just super fine?
6 generators in the well field, plus one big one. I think that's still there, right?
That's still there, yeah, and that's another 1,000 kilowatt.
Okay. And you do run that one, the electric portion does, you
Yeah,
do run.
our internal electrical department
Yes.
comes and does the maintenance on those.
Well, in that case, I move to accept the rental bid, whatever it might be here.
Let me read the recommended.
Yes, please.
SRWA staff recommends ratification of the VPUB contract for the rental of a 1,000 kilowatt portable diesel generator from Stuart Stevenson of Fort, Texas, for an amount not to exceed $100,200 for the term of the agreement.
I so move to accept that.
Second, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Okay, great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. And that brings us to the action item. On to item number 7, the discussion of the time, date for the next board.
So, Dr. Holman, we had skipped over the drought update. Was that going to be just for time? You'd like to go to?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to give us the most recent numbers, it was like 26.1 or something last time.
Yes, we actually went up slightly in reservoir, so we are doing better. We still got a long way to go, but it's better than it was a month ago.
Is it 26%, right?
26.1.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jaime.
Thank you very much. Sorry for cutting it short. One time we got kind of positive news, sorry for that.
Oh, yeah, we're done. Calendar. It's the calendar.
I couldn't hear him the last one, so my apologies. So the next board meeting is scheduled for September on the 8th because of a holiday on Monday the 1st. Any other questions?
Sounds good, that'll be a little day for me, but. Are we all set?
We're all set. I move the meeting be adjourned.
Second, Mr. President.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.